What will happen to home sales on the Florida Gulf Coast post Hurricane Ian? Many would assume that people would not want to move to the area, or perhaps even see people choosing to leave the area, which in turn would flood the housing market with homes and then prices would drop. However, that is not exactly what happens after a hurricane. There is a lot to dissect on the housing market post Ian, and we are going to talk about it all in today's video. If you have questions about our area, the condition of Sarasota and surrounding areas since Ian, please give me a call or just leave comments below and we will answer all the comments. Now, everyone in Sarasota and Lakewood Ranch, Venice, Bradenton, we all know that we were quite lucky. Unfortunately, our neighbors to the south were not so lucky. And I realize we hear a lot about Fort Myers Beach and Naples, but there are also cities in Sarasota County, such as Northport, and then cities such as Inglewood to our south that were also greatly affected. And what has happened there, as well as what is happening in Lee and Collier counties, will have some impact here in Sarasota and Manatee counties. Now, before going any further, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you find my videos helpful. Hit the bell button so you're notified when I post new videos. I'm Lisa McBride with Sarasota Neighborhood Experts, and my team and I love helping people move to Florida. If we can be of any help, give us a call today. Now, there are a number of housing factors that are going to start taking place in the months to come. And first thing that I want to talk about a little bit feels like a little bit kind of like a vulture situation to me. However, it is very normal in a natural disaster, and that is that many investors are going to start looking to pick up distressed properties. I understand this. Many homeowners may choose not to remain in their current location. They may choose not to rebuild or simply don't have the funds or the means to rebuild. Keep in mind, a number of coastal homes probably don't have mortgages on them. A lot of them don't. A great majority do not have mortgages on them, and then in turn may not have insurance on them, which means that it is up to the homeowner to rebuild at their cost. And some will absolutely 100% do that. I know also that FEMA will step in. However, unfortunately, they're not just handing over $1 million to have somebody rebuild their home. So what are these homeowners going to do? Some may sell to well-funded investors that will pick up their properties for, let's say, 30 to 60% less than their previous value. So let's say someone owned $1 million home on Fort Myers Beach. They may be offered $600,000 to take the home, and then these investors are responsible for rebuilding it and making it look good, or they will rent it, or they will take care of the property from there and turn it into a profit. Now, this is also going to be true for cities such as Northport, where the average home price was well under $400,000. So investors here may be offering underinsured homeowners, $200,000, $225,000, and you can just walk away from your home, basically. Some of these homes may be turned into rentals, some may be flipped. This is all something to know if you are an investor in the area and have questions about what's going on here. Now, all of these homeowners are going to try to figure out where to go next. Again, some may leave Florida completely. Others may move to the East Coast. They may move inland or perhaps further north towards Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton, Parrish. I mean, this is all possible. Just this week, I had a buyer that was originally looking at beachfront homes decide they now want to live in Lakewood Ranch, a little further from the beach. I had another decide that Fort Myers was still their best option because it was the most affordable for what they were looking for. So as you can see, home buyers, they're still out there looking. What is also quite apparent is that for those that have always dreamed of moving to Florida, they're still moving to Florida. They may be moving to different parts of Florida or maybe at a different time, but we're still getting the calls. We still see people moving all the time. In general, this may be good or bad. As Americans, we have a fairly short attention span and we forget about natural disasters. And that's not just hurricanes, that is wildfires, tornadoes, avalanches, all of that. And so if you want to live in a certain area, that most likely is still going to happen. So how will this affect our home pricing? Before Hurricane Ian even formed, home prices in our area had stabilized or retreated from the craziness of the last 2 years. And as mentioned, many displaced homeowners may start looking towards Sarasota and Manatee counties. Now, obviously interest rates are rising and are much higher than they have have been. And so there's very unlikely that we're going to see any boom in housing just because of displaced homeowners. Historically, if you look back, for instance, after Hurricane Andrew in 1992, many of the surrounding counties did see a slight uptick in the number of homes sold and new construction, but it wasn't so significant that prices, went up by 15%. As Lee and Collier counties begin rebuilding, housing for those in the construction industry, the demand will increase. Unfortunately, some of our areas that were adversely affected, such as, for instance, Northport, that is where a lot more of our affordability of homes are. It's very unfortunate that that was hit, as I said, many of our contractors, builders, tradespeople, that is where they were living. And now they may be moving north towards Parrish or Palmetto, which is in northern Manatee County. There is a lot of development happening here, and it's just a little bit more affordable than Sarasota or Lakewood Ranch. What's going to happen with new construction costs due to the demand to rebuild south of us? How is that going to impact us? Well, in the short term, such as the next 30 or 60 days, we are not likely to see a lot of changes. As we head towards our busiest selling season, now this may change a little bit. Historically, here in the Florida Gulf Coast, we are always busy winter months, and with many of the communities to the south not ready to resume building or maybe building a little slower, we definitely are going to start seeing some impacts, but that is going to be seen over the next 6 to 12 months as well, because we're already in a shortage for new construction. We're going to be dealing with lack of contractors, subcontractors, builders, and also the supply chain issues are going to start taking effect probably in the next 6 to 12 months as these homes are getting further and further along, such as windows, roofing, door. All of this is going to be impactful. The impact of Ian will be played out over the next year and well beyond that, but this is not going to lead to declining prices or escalating prices. What we were seeing prior to Ian in the economy with interest rates, with inflation, is still happening and is still going to be the biggest factor in housing prices. Now, Florida will rebuild, and if you drive around any of the Florida Gulf Coast areas, you are definitely going to see lots of home construction, lots of signs for new homes, just as always. If you'd like more information about Sarasota, Venice, Lakewood Ranch, or Bradenton area, though, give us a call today. We really love hearing from you. And if you find this information helpful, again, don't forget to subscribe and leave comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, take care.